Listen, now, I don't know about you, but if I was a car manufacturer, I would simply make the best car ever so everybody would buy it. I don't get why these companies are so dumb. Why doesn't Lamborghini just make their cars $20,000 and they would immediately tenfold their sales? Or better yet, why don't Mustangs just come with 1,000 horsepower from the factory? Okay, obviously that's not how it works. Also, Mustang owners would fill up jails for vehicular manslaughter in 3 days, but you know. Anyway, this concept got me thinking. If we take every car ever made and pick out the absolute best features from them, what car could we make? And which company would provide the best features? We could take prices from a Chinese car, the exhaust note of an Italian car, and the getaway ability of a completely random and not specific white 1993 Ford Bronco. Really quick, just before we start, I want to bring to attention how little of you are subscribed. You don't have to, and perhaps you can even block me from your feed forever, but as always, a like and subscribe really helps me out and I would appreciate it. Thanks. Now personally, I think it doesn't matter what we add to this car unless we can afford it. So the first order of business is to find the cheapest new car you can possibly buy at the moment. Obviously, I can't go to the past for this because if we went back to the 60s, you could buy a Camaro for $3 and a bag of Doritos. So after extensive research, the cheapest new car that you can buy is the Mitsubishi Mirage ES for $18,160. You know what? Whatever. If this video gets 100 likes, I'll buy one of these bad boys. Let's get another boring factor out of the way. Reliability. I mean seriously, it's the grown year of 2024 and we're still worrying about oil changes. Wake up sheep, you don't need to change your oil. Anyway, the most reliable car currently is the Honda Civic, no surprise here. According to car pages, Honda Civic owners bring their cars in for repairs about 0.2 times, which is less than 0.3, which is the average for compact cars in its class. But there are a lot of Civic generations, and from a quick peruse through the internet, the 9th gen Civic is the most reliable, which goes from 2011 to 2016. So for this video, we'll go with 2016 just because it's had the longest time to be completely tuned in. Alright, last boring one, I promise. Let's talk safety. Now, although boring, there's actually a lot of intricacies here, because often cars can be very safe for their driver, but have a low safety rating for their front passenger or sometimes the rear seats. So for this, I'll use the overall safest car. Again, there's a lot of debate over intricacies, but 3 stand out the most: the Tesla Model X, the Volvo XC90, and the Tesla Model Y. I can only choose one, so I'll do it in the absolutely most scientific way. Now we're at something a little more interesting, top speed. I actually just made a video on this topic, so it comes as no surprise that we'll be taking the top speed of the Bugatti Chiron Supersport at 304.7 miles per hour. The same is the case for acceleration, which I discussed in the same video. We'll be taking the 1.66 seconds 0 to 60 of the Dodge Demon 170. Looking good so far. I think an underrated aspect that many people overlook is handling. This is a bit subjective. Some people like a stiffer feel, while others prefer a floaty wheel. Sounded like an Action Bronson lyric. Another issue we run into is that I haven't driven every car in the world, so I don't have a great opinion on this. Many websites have different rankings as well, but here are the top 2 that I've seen. The Lotus Elise and the Toyota GR86. It makes sense as they're both small cars with light chassis, so it wouldn't be far-fetched to assume they handle slightly like a go-kart, which is synonymous with ease while driving. For this case, I'll take the Lotus Elise just because I like it a little more. Let's take a break from steering and go to brakes.
That's not funny.
Good one from me, guys. Brakes are also often overlooked, but especially when looking from a track point of view, it can make a world of difference. Now with cars, brakes are often left to a few specialist companies that contractually supply brakes to their car manufacturers. The best of these brands is Brembo. Brembo makes brakes for companies such as Porsche, Ferrari, Mercedes, Dodge, etc. But the very best brakes they have ever made came in the Porsche 911 GT3 RS. The GT3 goes from 100 km per hour to 0 in just 28.2 meters, which is a world record actually, so brakes are a no-brainer here. Okay, let's transition into transmissions. It's sometimes overlooked, but without the ability to shift quickly, it literally means nothing to have a lot of power or to be super quick. There's a few transmissions that stand out. For example, the PDK offered by Porsche is considered to be an excellent transmission, and granted it is, but it's great for the track, and to be honest, the track only. It's not the best get around town transmission in the world, and it can be pretty rough, somewhat comparable to the DCTs that came in E92s, M3s and such. My pick for the best transmission ever would be BMW ZF8 transmission. Yeah, say what you will about the occasional hiccup they have, but no transmission is perfect, and I've driven this trans for a long time. It's buttery smooth and extremely reliable. Better yet, BMW has been using this same trans for 15 years and still maintains its extremely high reliability and quality standards. That's no accident. Now, a lot of people will be upset at me that I didn't include a manual or sequential transmission. The truth is that neither of these can be the overall greatest trans. There's a lot of user error that can be applicable with these transmissions. One money shift and your $10,000 manual trans is gone. So for the mass audience and to be safe, we'll stick with BMW's All Reliable. Though this doesn't necessarily have the greatest impact on our car, I wanted to mention wheels. Again, this is super subjective, so I want to know what you guys think in the comments. Personally, and I apologize in advance, I absolutely love turbofan wheels. I think they look awesome, and the engineering reason behind them is that it's supposed to force air straight onto the brakes, allowing for quicker cooling and therefore sustained braking power. I get if this is a controversial opinion, so again, feel free to leave your opinion in the comment section. I think interior and comfort are really important as well, and to me this is a no-brainer. From the sound deadening to the quality of the leather and to the timeless infotainment system, I'm going to choose the Rolls-Royce Ghost. Quick miscellaneous factors. I'm going to take the headlights out of basically any new BMW. They're super bright and super powerful. The best sound system is pretty universally considered the Bowers & Wilkins system found in Volvos. Finally, for an exhaust note, I want the Porsche Carrera GT. I'm sure a lot of people expected the LFA, and while that is a fair choice, I decided that the Carrera GT just slightly beats it out. So we've done it. We created the best possible car by taking parts from already existing cars. I think I'll call this car the Harden, in honor of what he did for the city of Houston with his Stepback 3. I wish there was a way for us to actually visualize the car, but for now, this is the best that I can do. I also want to point out that Volvo and BMW provided us with the most parts and factors, so do with that what you will. If you guys disagree with any of my opinions, you're probably wrong. Joking. But go ahead and leave your best car in the comments and we can take a look at it. Maybe I'll even make a video discussing your builds. As always, thanks for watching, and I'd always appreciate a like and a sub. Have a good one, guys.